In the last video, I told you that Leica had come up with a new Disto. It's called the E7500i with the Bluetooth. Well, this is the new instrument. I just got a hold of it, so I'm going to show you how to set it up for track and field so you don't have to have any frustration. It's pretty self-explanatory. Once I show you, you won't have any problem with the instrument. Putting in the battery, the old instruments had a little click, you had to pull the face up, and we used to use something called duct tape because we would always break the little tip. This is designed totally different. This is solid. This is really solid. What I'm going to do is I just slide this back and I lift up on it and the cover comes off. I put the battery in where it says negative. It tells you how to do it, negative, positive, and then I just take this, slide it back, drop it in, and then slide it forward, and it's locked in. See, there's no small part to break. It's all one. It's solid. You can throw it in the mud, pull it out, wash it. It has a 6-foot drop test on it. You can drop it, you're fine. Okay, so now we got the battery in the unit. The most important part now for us is we must set what they call the default in this. The default is where we're going to put in the units of measure, which we're going to either use metric or foot and inches. Then we're going to put our setback in. Now, anytime the batteries fail on you because they've gone dead because you've shot so many times, all you have to do is slap new batteries in. Whatever's in default is still there. You come out shooting, you don't have to redo anything. That's why the default's important. So now we're going to go here and we're going to turn the unit on. Now with the unit on, we're going to go and we're going to push this little button here that's called function. So we're going to push function. Now there's going to be a bunch of stuff on the screen, means nothing to us right now. Right here at the bottom there you're going to see gears. Right below gears there's a button with a dot on it. We're going to push that. When we push that, now we're in the default. So whatever we put in here will stay in. First thing we want to do is set the measurement. What unit of measurement we're going to use. So I have an arrow that goes up. I got an arrow that goes right, down, and to the left. So what I'm going to do is that's how I'm going to control the cursor in there. So I'm going to push it up, and now I have the red that's around unit. I'm going to hit Disto. Now it puts me on that page. Now I'm going to look at this, and none of this is going to fit what I want. This is feet, inches to 1/32 of an inch. If you're in high school, yes, then you'll find to the 1/4 of an inch, and then you'll take this down arrow to that, and you'll push the middle one, which is equal, and then that will put it into default, where it will always be there. But that's not what we want for college. What we want is metric. So it's not showing up on this page, so I'm going to hit the arrow down one more time. Sure enough, in the next page it shows up. So I have 0.00 meters. I'm going to put equal on that. Boom, now it's in the default mode. So at any time I want to shut it off, pull the batteries, it will always come back as metric. Now the next thing we want to do is the offset. Now, the offset doesn't show up on this page. So what I'm going to do is see this arrow to the right. Now I'm still on units. I'm going to push 1, 2. The next one that shows up in the red, that is your offset. So now with the offset, I'm going to push the red button again. Boom. Now there's your offset. Now obviously you can see I had already set this to 2.26, which is offset for the discus. Now if I want to use this, I'm going to use these arrows to go back and forth. So I'm on the 6. So let's say I want to go to 8. I'm going to hit the up arrow. It's go 7, 8. Then let's say I want to move it to the left to change it. I move the left arrow. It takes me to the next number. And then I want to move it, adjust it again. I go to the next number. And then I go to the next number if I want to make an adjustment. Now remember, this is a negative offset, so I'm going to come down to the negative button. Now that's going to clear it, and I'm going to hit it again. It's going to give me negative. I'm also going to take it back to the 8, and I'm going to take it down to 6, and I'm going to hit equal because for me that's how it's set up for my offset. If I'm doing it for the hammer, I'm going to be doing it 1.88 with the minus. So you can see how we're going to scroll back and forth, and then I'm going to hit equal. Now it's locked in default. I'm going to move back to the left, and I'm going to put back on the default page. And if I drop one, here's the Bluetooth. I'm going to go down. I'm going to turn the Bluetooth on. It's already on for me. Just hit equal. You hit your Bluetooth. And over here we have the bubble. This bubble tells you what angles you're at. You don't want that to show up on your screen. You'll get dizzy watching it turn. Even though you have it turned off, it's still working inside. So I have that turned off. Once all that function's done, I'm going to come down to where it says off and where it says see and off, and I'm going to click and I'm going to exit back to the main screen where I'm on Disto. Now on Disto, I'm ready to shoot. So if he'll come and watch this, I'm going to come over here. This is, by the way, the Leica tripod. It's the Leica TR100. I prefer it because it gives me a base for this. If you were to use a regular camera tripod, all you're going to have is your lockdown in the middle, and you're going to get vibration when you push the button. So here, see, I'm in the middle. See how the brace comes up here? I can push. I'll have my mark. But if I was only holding it here, this thing is going to vibrate back and forth, and I'm going to have a hard time making my marks. So for the price of this is a very quality tripod. I use all the Leica products because of the quality of it. This one, I went and bought a unit from Best Buy, their best one, which had that. There's a metal ring inside here that this screws into. From pushing that pulled out. I had vibration, so my son built a platform for it, and we're like, why are we doing this when we can just buy the Leica unit, which already has it built in for us. Okay, so now with that being done, I'm going to slide this in. There's little lips, and there's this thing here I'm going to turn, this little hammer, or this little doodad, I'll call it that. And then I'm going to slip it in, push down on it, and it locks in place. So now we're on the tripod, and then back to where I had discussed earlier in the earlier film about how I always use the same leg, so my setup is always the same. Okay, so now I have my setup. I have for my first mark, I'm going to come in and I'm going to hit the Disto red. The Disto red is going to show me the metric. It's going to show me where I'm measuring from, but as you notice, I can't see through it. So there's this little blue button to the left that looks like a camera. I'm going to hit that. Now that's going to give me my dot, or my crosshairs, and I'm going to see exactly where I'm pointing. It will only give me a 1x. I have to go to this arrow pointing up, and then I can hit it once and one more time, and I'm at 4:1 zoom. Now I'm shining directly on my target, and now I'm going to shoot the target. The first thing's going to happen is the crosshairs are going to turn red. That means the laser shining on it, but I still haven't taken my mark. I'm going to shoot it one more time. It gives me my mark. It's saying it's 8 meters 10 centimeters with my 2.26 offset. So that's what it's measuring to the front of the ring. What's different about this compared to the other Distos, this takes a picture of my mark. So if I walk away and he follows me, come and look at it now, it still shows me the exact picture of my mark, and it will carry with me until I'm ready to make my next shot. Now when I go to make my next shot, I'm going to go down. That picture's still going to be there. I'm going to hit the Disto button again. Now it takes away the picture, turns my laser on. I find the crosshairs. I find my mark. I push it again. It gives me my next mark. And it takes a picture of it. So I can walk out of the ring, set it down. Somebody says I protest. I can go back into the ring. I have the exact picture. I can set it down, then I can free it up and take a reshot to the exact mark where we were before, which is an advantage of this unit over the other units. Now with the Bluetooth, we can actually send it. If I had the Bluetooth on hooked up to the phone, I could push this button and it will automatically send it to somebody's phone, their iPad, their computer, and the mark, and I don't even have to yell the mark out and record it. And so this is just the basic function of this Disto E7500i. You can see how it's not complicated. The screen is better. The crosshairs are better. They did a good design on this unit over the other ones, and I'm sure the ones in the future will even be better. But this is a good solid unit. You know now how to go into default. You want your default correct for only one reason. If your batteries go dead, you just take the batteries out, put it in, you're still ready to go because your setback, your unit of measure is already in the instrument. It did come out. If you have any other questions, leave a comment on this and then I'll reply to it. But for track, this will set you up. This also has one more feature which you guys will like, especially if you're doing the high jump and the pole vault. This has what they call a missing line measurement, which means that I'll measure at the base. I'll have a little plate at the base of the pole vault or the high jump unit, and I'll have a little thing on the bar. I shoot down at that mark, I shoot up at that mark, and then it will tell me the exact height. So I don't have to be underneath now with something trying to figure it out. I can have the tripod sitting back a little bit, just shoot, and it will tell me the distance. Of course, I'll have a little offset built in to make up for that little pieces on the bar to the top of the bar, which may be, you know, a 1/4 of an inch or a 1/2 an inch will be built into this to give you what your offset is. So for the Disto E7500i, this is a big improvement, and it's actually fun to use, and it's simple. It's very simple to learn. Take it, practice with it a few times, and you're going, gosh, this is easy. Anyway, that's it for now, and we'll talk to you later.